Paul, over to Tottenham. Angel Gomez is a player that Ange is interested in for potentially the summer. What would you think of him fitting in at Tottenham as an extra player, kind of in an attacking midfield role?
Yeah, I think you'd have to look at him higher up the pitch. And Tottenham have been linked with a lot of CDMs as well, and you wonder why. I think Ricky is another player that's been linked with Tottenham, but then you look at the cover that they've got in that area with Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr. Of recent times, he's been playing three midfielders in there. Maddison's been playing deep. He's been playing an attacking formation, but also Archie Gray that they signed for a big fee in the summer from Leeds. He's had his opportunity a couple of times sporadically, but at right back, he's actually a defensive midfielder. So maybe an attacking minded midfielder is something they could look at alongside James Maddison. I don't think there's a huge cry out for it in the team, but he's certainly a player that would he would make your team better without a doubt. I think he's proven the international scale. The scene. Lee Carsley's obviously got a lot of faith in him, and he's a good player who can potentially only get better.
No doubt. And Pete, Eberechi Eze is somebody who Tottenham were linked with a lot this summer. Didn't get a move as Crystal Palace let some other stars go. But he's looking to secure a cut price deal next year, potentially to Tottenham. What would that price look like for a player as talented as Eze?
Yeah, I think obviously I don't expect Eze to move in this January transfer window coming up. I think he might have to reevaluate things in the summer himself. He'll have seen his former teammate Michael Olise move on to Bayern Munich and really impress in the Champions League, and I'm sure that's something that Eberechi Eze wants to be doing, and obviously playing at the highest level will only boost his chances of becoming a regular in that England side as well. So I think in the summer, Eze, depending on how this season goes with Crystal Palace, will sit down and see where his future does lie. He's obviously under contract until 2027, so come next summer he'll have 2 years left on his contract. He has got a release clause in his deal at Palace which was active this summer, but I think it reactivates for the following summer for around £68 million. But I think with 2 years left in his contract, any interested club in Eze would maybe be hoping to land him for maybe a smaller fee than that £68 million, and maybe Crystal Palace could be open to negotiations on that. So you might be able to land him, or I'm sure clubs will try and test Crystal Palace resolve, maybe offers around the 50 to 60 million pound mark rather than meeting that release clause of 68 million as well. But I do fully expect there to be interest in Eze. If he has a good season for Palace this year and for England, I'm sure there'll be a number of clubs who'll be ready to take him away from Selhurst Park as well, and it won't just be any clubs. You'll have the top clubs in England all after him. I'm sure the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Arsenal all admirers of Eze, and they'll be keeping tabs on his situation and ready to offer him that chance to maybe step up and play Champions League football.
And Paul, you mentioned him before, but Samuel Enrique is linked with a winter move to Tottenham. You said they have a kind of a plethora of those deeper midfield positions, but maybe Ange isn't trusting those younger players yet. Could you see him making a move either in the winter or in the summer?
I think it's a tough one to do in the winter. As I say, I think he's got plenty of cover in that area, and you look at the way that the team's played in recent times with it's more been a 4-3-3 formation, so I'm not so sure whether that will be a pressing position for him, but whether it's Bentancur, Basuma or Sarr that plays in there. I think he's got players in there. I don't think it's necessarily an emergency that they need a player in that role, but he's a young player. He's 24 years old, got 4 caps for Italy already, and he's certainly a player that will interest Tottenham. I think it's a tough deal to do in the winter, but I think that's potentially one for the summer.
We know, Paul, that Spurs like to do their business in Italy. They've had a lot of success, and a lot of players have come in from Serie A, so maybe there's a bit behind that obviously Ricky is the latest name to be mentioned for Spurs. As you said, still got the fingerprints of Fabio Paratici, it seems, over Tottenham's recruitment.